Okay, ready to dive into something pretty interesting.
Absolutely. Always up for a deep dive.
Awesome. Today we're looking at ChatArena, and I think this one's going to be pretty cool. Basically, it's like this digital space, right?
Hmm.
And in it, we've got all these AI agents running around powered by large language models, and they're all learning how to work together.
Yeah, what's really interesting about it is they're not just playing for fun, these AI agents. I mean, they're actually developing real skills. Things like communication, strategy. They're even learning a little bit of deception.
Oh, wow. Deception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fascinating to watch. And the coolest part, this is all happening out in the open. ChatArena is an open source project.
Open source, so anyone can just go in and see what's happening.
That's right.
That's pretty rare for, like, cutting-edge AI research, isn't it?
It is. And that transparency is kind of a big deal. It means researchers and developers from all over the world, right? They can learn from each other, collaborate, and really push the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
I can see how that would accelerate things.
Yeah.
So, okay, big question then.
Hmm?
Why should anyone care about AI playing games? What's the bigger picture here?
Think about it this way. The skills that these AI agents are learning in ChatArena, they could totally revolutionize how we interact with AI in the real world.
Okay.
Imagine AI teams working together to solve like really complex problems in fields like healthcare, finance, you name it.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. So let's break ChatArena down a little bit.
Yeah.
What are the key components? Like, how does it all work?
Well, it all starts with something called the arena, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this futuristic training ground where these AI agents, they all gather to kind of hone their skills.
Okay, a training ground. So within this arena, what are they actually doing?
They're playing games,
Of course.
but not just any games.
Right.
ChatArena has this whole library of what they call environments.
Okay.
And each one, each environment represents a specific game or like a scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be a simple conversation or like a strategic game like chess, or even something that's meant to mimic complex social dynamics.
So they're learning how to interact and solve problems depending on the environment they're in.
Exactly. And driving all this action is the language backend. That's where the real magic happens. That's where these powerful, large language models come in. They're processing language, they're understanding the rules of the game, and then they're generating responses for the AI agents, which lets them communicate and strategize within the game.
Oh, so that's how they're making decisions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the language model is the brains of each AI agent.
That's a great way to put it. And of course, you can't have a game without players. The players in ChatArena, those are the AI agents themselves. So they're getting information about what's happening in the game. They're making decisions based on what the language model is telling them. And then they're actually taking actions within the game.
So just to recap, because we've got a lot of moving pieces here. We've got the arena as kind of like the foundation. We've got these different environments, which each have different game scenarios. We've got the language backend, which is like the brains of the whole operation. And then we've got the actual players participating in all these games.
That's it. That's ChatArena in a nutshell.
Okay, so far so good. Now the games themselves, they're not just random, right?
Probably not.
Each game is designed to teach these AI agents something specific about communication and collaboration, right?
Precisely. Each one has a purpose.
Give me some examples of these games.
Well, there's one category that's really interesting, and it's called conversation-based games, right?
Yeah.
And there's this one in particular called NLP Classroom, where AI agents are taking on the roles of teachers and students.
Wow. They're actually simulating a learning environment.
It's fascinating.
Are they actually learning anything new in this classroom?
Well, they're not learning new facts, not in the traditional sense, but they're learning how to communicate information effectively, how to ask questions, how to respond in a way that facilitates learning.
Yeah.
And those skills could be huge for the future of education and personalized learning.
I could see that. So it's not just about them playing a game. It's about learning how to interact and communicate effectively
Yeah.
in a very specific context.
Exactly. And that's what makes ChatArena so much more than just a fun experiment. It's like this really powerful tool for exploring what the future of AI communication and collaboration could look like. And we're just getting started. There's so many other types of games in ChatArena, each with its own unique challenges and learning opportunities.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
What other kinds of games are we talking about?
Well, there's games that have moderators, like, classic games, rock, paper, scissors, tic-tac-toe.
Okay.
They might seem simple, but they're actually great for teaching AI agents to follow rules, think strategically, and even deal with competition in a structured environment.
So even these, like, simple games, we can use them to train AI.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to see AI really grapple with like complex social dynamics, there are social deduction games like Chameleon. And in these games, AI agents, they have to either deceive or detect deception, which means they have to understand subtle cues, build trust, even manipulate others.
Wow, that's a lot. Are these AI agents even capable of that kind of social maneuvering?
You might be surprised, but they're actually getting quite good at it. And the insights we're getting from watching these interactions, they could have big implications for fields like psychology, marketing, even international relations.
It's really interesting stuff. But I'll admit, I'm still trying to figure out how all of this translates to the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that AI can play games and all, but like, what's the practical application here?
That's a great question, and it's one that we're going to dive into much deeper in the next segment. But to give you a taste, imagine these AI agents that are trained in ChatArena actually working alongside humans in all kinds of fields.
Okay, I'm listening. Give me some examples.
Picture this. AI agents assisting doctors with diagnoses, helping engineers design like way more efficient systems, or even working with artists to create completely new forms of creative expression.
So it's not about replacing humans. It's more like augmenting our capabilities,
Yeah.
expanding what's possible.
Precisely. And that's why Chatterina is so exciting, right? It's not just about training AI to win games. It's about unlocking this potential for AI to collaborate with us, with humans, and tackle real-world challenges in ways we couldn't even imagine before.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see the bigger picture here. Before we get into those real-world applications, though, I want to take a closer look at some of the specific games within ChatArena
Sounds good.
and what they can teach us about AI communication and collaboration.
Yeah, let's explore some of the most interesting games and really unpack what they reveal about the potential of AI. All right, so let's dig a little deeper into some of these games inside Chatterina. There's one that really stands out, and it's called Diplomacy. It's this really interesting game of negotiation and alliance building. It's a perfect example of how these AI agents are learning to navigate these like really complex social dynamics.
Diplomacy, huh? That sounds intense. How does that even work with AI agents?
So imagine like a digital map of Europe, right? And
Yeah.
we've got these AI agents and they're representing all these different powers. Each agent has its own goals, its own resources, and they have to communicate, they have to negotiate, they have to form alliances to try and achieve their objectives. It's a real test of strategic thinking, persuasion, being able to anticipate what other players are going to do.
Yeah. So it's not just about like raw power, it's about building trust, forging partnerships.
Yep.
It's a pretty sophisticated skill for AI to learn.
It really is. And what's amazing is these AI agents are actually getting pretty good at it. Researchers are seeing them developing these like really complex strategies. They're forming alliances. They're even engaging in things like backstabbing and betrayal, just like human players would.
Wow, that's both impressive and a little bit unsettling.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what kind of implications this has for the real world.
It's a valid concern. I mean, it's exciting to see AI agents learning to navigate complex social situations, but we got to make sure that these capabilities are developed and deployed responsibly.
Right.
Transparency, ethical considerations, robust safety measures, all of that is going to be super important as we move forward.
Absolutely. Okay, but for a second, let's focus on the positive potential here. I mean, if AI can learn to negotiate and build trust effectively, imagine the possibilities for resolving conflicts, like international cooperation, tackling global challenges like climate change.
Exactly. Think about it, even beyond geopolitics, right?
Yeah.
What about business negotiations, legal mediation, even personal relationships? AI agents trained in diplomacy could be like these amazing mediators helping people reach agreements that benefit everyone and avoid all these like costly disputes.
So it's not just about AI replacing human jobs. It's about AI helping us interact in a more constructive and collaborative way.
Exactly. Augmenting our capabilities, creating new possibilities for cooperation.
Okay.
Now, there's another game in Chatterina that I think you'll find interesting. It's called Overcooked. It's this cooperative cooking game where the AI agents have to work together to prepare and serve dishes in this like crazy busy kitchen.
Overcooked. Okay, that sounds a little more fun than serious AI research. What could we possibly learn from AI agents flipping burgers and chopping vegetables?
You'd be surprised. Overcooked is a fantastic test of coordination, communication, adaptability. These AI agents, they have to learn to anticipate each other's actions, delegate tasks efficiently, adjust to unexpected challenges, like a sudden rush of orders or a spilled ingredient.
So it's like real-time problem solving and teamwork.
Exactly. And the things we learn from these simulations, we can apply them to so many real-world scenarios.
Yeah.
Imagine AI agents working with human teams during disaster response, coordinating logistics in a supply chain, or even working together to perform surgeries in an operating room.
That's wild. Every game in ChatArena seems to have these valuable lessons that can be applied to so many different real-world challenges.
That's what makes this platform so cool. It's like this sandbox where we can explore all this amazing potential for AI collaboration in a safe and controlled environment. And as AI keeps getting more advanced, we're going to see even more sophisticated games and scenarios, things that really push the boundaries of what's possible.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, there's another game that caught my eye. Creative collaboration. What can you tell me about that one?
Oh, creative collaboration. That's a good one. It's a game where AI agents work together to actually generate creative content. Things like stories, poems, even musical compositions. It's this fascinating exploration of how AI can enhance human creativity and create totally new forms of artistic expression.
So it's not about AI just mimicking existing art forms. It's about AI actually contributing to the creative process.
Exactly. In creative collaboration, the AI agents, they act like collaborators, right? They're offering suggestions, generating variations, even challenging human artists to explore new ideas, new approaches. It's a real partnership where both human and AI creativity get amplified.
I like that. It's like having an AI muse.
Yeah,
So this could be a game changer for artists, writers, musicians, all kinds of creatives.
absolutely. Think about it. Breaking through writer's block, generating new melodies, designing amazing buildings, the possibilities are endless. And it's not limited to traditional art forms.
Right.
Imagine AI working with architects to design incredible new buildings or helping filmmakers develop these really engaging storylines or even helping scientists visualize complex data in ways that are creative and insightful.
The possibilities are pretty much limitless.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let's get back to the practical side of things for a minute.
sure.
How do we actually take all these insights from ChatArena and implement them into real-world systems and organizations?
That's a great question. And it's something that a lot of really smart people are working on right now. One approach is to create these specialized AI agents that are specifically trained for certain tasks and domains.
Okay.
So for example, you could have AI agents that are trained in customer service or medical diagnosis or financial forecasting, and each one would have its own unique set of skills and knowledge that it learned from ChatArena.
So we're taking the general principles of collaboration and communication that we've learned and tailoring them to specific applications.
Exactly. And as these AI agents are out there in the real world, they can keep learning. They can keep adapting to new situations, just like they do in the games.
Mm,
That ongoing learning process is really important to make sure that these AI systems stay effective and relevant in a world that's constantly changing.
that makes sense. It sounds promising, but I'm sure there are challenges too.
Mhm.
What are some of the hurdles we need to overcome to really make all of this work?
One big one is data. Training these AI agents, it takes massive amounts of high-quality data that really captures the complexity of real-world scenarios. We also have to make sure that these AI systems are robust, reliable, and aligned with human values. We don't want them to be biased or make errors or, God forbid, have malicious intent.
Right. Safety and ethics have to be a top priority.
Absolutely. And beyond the technical challenges, there are social and economic things to think about too. As AI systems become more and more integrated into our workplaces and lives, we have to address concerns about potential job displacement, economic inequality, the impact on human relationships, all of that.
That's a lot to think about. It sounds like we need a really holistic approach, one that takes into account the technical aspects, but also the social, the economic, and the ethical implications.
You're absolutely right. It's complicated, but I think it has the potential to completely revolutionize the way we work, the way we live, the way we interact with the world around us.
It's exciting and a little daunting at the same time.
It is.
Okay, before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, I think it's good to take a step back and reflect on what we've learned so far about ChatArena and what it could mean for the future.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's recap the key takeaways and then look ahead and see what the future might hold for this whole fascinating field of collaborative AI.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? We've really explored the ins and outs of ChatArena, and we've talked about how it could potentially impact everything from business to art to global diplomacy.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how these AI agents are learning to collaborate, negotiate, even create right alongside humans in this digital space.
It really is, and it's mind-boggling when you think about how far we've come in such a short amount of time.
Absolutely. And yet, it still feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible?
I think you're right. I mean, we're still in the early stages of all of this, and the pace of innovation is only getting faster.
So, what can we actually expect to see in the coming years? What's next for ChatArena and for collaborative AI in general? Well, one thing's for sure. The games and simulations within ChatArena, they're going to keep evolving. They're going to become even more complex and nuanced.
So we'll see these AI agents tackling even more challenging scenarios, really pushing the limits of what they can do collaboratively.
Exactly. Imagine AI agents working together to design these huge, complex virtual worlds, or simulating entire ecosystems to study the effects of climate change.
That would be incredible. And beyond just the games themselves, I imagine the underlying technology, like the language models and algorithms, that's going to keep advancing too, right?
For sure. As large language models get more and more sophisticated, they'll be able to understand and generate human language with even greater fluency and subtlety.
So the communication between the AI agents and ChatArena, and even between AI and humans, is just going to get more and more natural and intuitive.
Exactly. And that improved communication, it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities for real collaboration between humans and AI.
I'm really fascinated by the idea of AI enhancing human creativity, something you touched on earlier, about AI helping artists and writers.
Oh, yeah, that's a really exciting area. Imagine a world where you've got AI helping you overcome writer's block, or generating new musical melodies, or even helping you design these breathtaking architectural structures.
It's like having an AI muse, constantly sparking your imagination and pushing you to explore new creative territory.
I like that, an AI muse. And the applications, they go way beyond the arts, too. Think about AI collaborating with scientists to develop groundbreaking new technologies or helping engineers design sustainable infrastructure.
The potential for positive impact is huge.
It is. But we have to remember that with any powerful technology, there comes great responsibility.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that as we develop and deploy these collaborative AI systems, we're doing it ethically and with a focus on the greater good.
I agree. Transparency, fairness, accountability, all of that's going to be crucial as we move forward.
We have to make sure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select few. And we need to be mindful of the potential impact on jobs and the economy, right?
Right. We want to ensure that the transition to an AI-powered future is as smooth and equitable as possible.
It's a lot to consider, but I'm optimistic that we can figure it out if we work together.
Me too. At the end of the day, the future of AI is up to us. We get to shape it. And I think Shattering is a fantastic tool for exploring what's possible and making sure that collaborative AI is a force for good in the world.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive into ChatArena. It's been a really fascinating conversation.
It has. I'm excited to see what the future holds for this incredible field.
Me too. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of collaborative AI and to stay engaged in the conversations about how we can develop and deploy it ethically and responsibly.
The future is in our hands, and it's up to all of us to shape it wisely.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into ChatArena. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep imagining the possibilities of a future where humans and AI work together to create a better world for everyone.